Welcome, everybody. Hi. Paulina,
I'm Emma.
and we're going to be here today talking about an amazing and wonderful journey from your session, from your Quantum Healing Hypnosis session. Yeah. Do you want to share something about you before we dive into questions?
Sure. Okay. So I'm Emma Soleil. I am a shaman and a coach, and I was formerly a private equity investor um, and chair of a junior board nonprofit, or chair of the junior board of a nonprofit in New York City.
Hmm. And you transition from that career or
I did, yeah.
to
So I offer that as some context.
uh-huh,
Yeah, so I have, it's full spectrum. It's
yeah,
like from super materialist in finance
right, like to
to then super spiritualist
yeah,
as a shaman,
yeah,
and now in the middle, like balanced as a coach.
yeah.
Yeah.
So how was it to transition from like one place to another? That I think that would be really amazing because I do know a lot of people who are very into that type of life and working in a corporate, but that they feel like a calling for something else, but they're afraid, which is completely normal because their life depends on their income. So how like
Yeah.
how can you
So
how was it for you personally to go?
yeah, I mean, I had a lot of feelings wrapped up in leaving finance. One was
Right,
that I
right.
had invested so much energy in that direction that I felt like I didn't want to take what I then perceived as a sunk cost. But now, as I see myself as the summation of all of my experiences, there is never any sunk cost. So that mind shift change helped. And then your point around finances, if someone has just
Right.
a sole source of income, that's like a weight load bearing beam in a building. You cannot just knock that out and feel stable and secure and safe.
Right.
Unless you've transcended. And the way to work around that is to have some of the load removed from that beam. So
Right.
you could, even if it's only 1% or
Right.
5%, just to start to show yourself that you can have survival or income in ways which are not solely dependent on that thing will begin
Right.
to open up the mind to possibilities beyond that work.
Yeah.
That said, that's not how I did it.
Right, that's what I was gonna
like,
ask.
no, I just was like, I've had enough. I'd literally rather die than keep doing this. I'm
Right.
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I had made a lot before I did that. So, yeah, I had this stability to some extent already.
So you had some cushion to like
Yeah, I had a lot of cushion to
okay, that's
just
good.
basically be semi-retired indefinitely.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it is actually. Let me take that back. I think
Yeah.
typically work is associated with survival, but now in the position that I'm in, I'm getting to experience work as play and as an experiment. And the thing is,
Yeah.
that allows me to be patient with myself, right? I also recognize that life is infinite, and even when you die, you don't die.
Yeah.
In my experience, so I that sounds like that's one thing for me to say. It's another thing for me to live as my embodied experience, which I actually do.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
but when I have, or since I have that perspective, I just see this as an infinite game, and even in the worst case scenario, like the game is never over. Even when you would like it to be over, it's never over.
For sure.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
that's helps me shift to a place where I think of my whole life as a seed, and I cannot yell at a seed to make it blossom any faster.
No.
Everything is unfolding perfectly in its own time. I just need to continue to nourish it, and everything will be well. And even if I don't nourish it, it just like I just need to then go back to nourishing it.
So how many years from the time you step out from, let's say, that corporate life or that version of you where you were like Emma corporate to like Emma shaman?
To Emma shaman. Well, yeah, interestingly, there was a pretty short gap between the two because I had already like many psychic and spiritual experiences before I left. And so they were kind of like that last couple years that I had in finance was mixed in with a lot of mysticism. So much so that I realized that I could not continue on as I was attempting to do in finance as a just a super materialist, as I said. And it was more that I felt like that I felt very mentally, emotionally, and spiritually unfulfilled in that arena.
I see.
And so it was just very imbalanced. But that like spiritual side was growing louder and louder and louder until I couldn't ignore it anymore.
For sure.
But I didn't actually start to share that I'm a shaman until 6 years later. Yeah, because even though I had all of these different gifts and tools, I had not yet mastered applying them. And I really am not about selling shovels. I need to understand exactly what it is and how it fits into the puzzle of consciousness and what's its useful application before I go and I share it. And so I spent 6 years really just locked in on that. Yeah. And it was hard and painful, but I did it. And now we're here.
Yeah. For the sake of definition, because there is a lot of people who have not been as mindful as you have, and they have used the label of shaman. For you, what does being a shaman represents or is or embodies?
Yeah, well, this is an excellent question. I'm really glad you asked it. There are a few different like buckets this can fit into. But as I think of it, it's somebody who's very adept at helping people heal and integrate themselves. And there are different kinds. So to become an ayahuasquero, typically you need to go through a very long process of dieting master plants. And that's a process in which you fuse your consciousness permanently with the plants you diet.
Ideally, because I
mean, it can go wayward for sure. And there are many risks involved with that process.
Yes.
I have done that, actually. And then to become Marakame, which is a shaman of peyote, I believe it's a progression of 5 peyote, like incrementally per night. So it's like you start with 5, then 10, then 15 until you build up to 25. And if you were able to do that, like, I guess it's like 5 days worth of consecutive peyote in like really high doses without purging, then to my understanding, that's how you become a shaman of peyote. So it depends on exactly what that label is being tied to.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And for
that's
you?
The short of it. So for me, I mean, I am a supporting shaman of ayahuasca right now. I don't lead ceremony or participate it outside of the jungle. I only am facilitating when I am in the Amazon jungle with the shaman who I have been learning from. And then, but aside from that, I also have a very broad range of perception, which helps me see and feel what people have going on. But my flavor of shamanism is more old school. So current shamanism is typically somebody consumes some sort of medicine and then they go on a journey and then they go about their lives.
Right.
Traditional shamanism is the shaman consumes whatever it is that is necessary, and then relays that information to the pasajero, so the person who's seeking healing.
Right.
And that's more the camp that I'm in, because I'm
Right.
of the mindset that the plants never do the push-ups for you. Actually, nobody can do the push-ups for you.
No.
For you, only you can.
Yeah.
So the whole art of it that I guide people through, and this is why it sort of overlaps with coaching, is it's raising awareness and simultaneously integrating that awareness. Because awareness without integration is like a tree growing very tall without its roots growing similarly deep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it can lead to overwhelm and sometimes even psychosis.
Yes.
So that's how I work with people. Yeah.
Nice. Beautiful. And then on that journey from there to here, at some point you did your quantum healing hypnosis session. What was your inspiration, or what was the what took you, or what led you to that session?
It was curiosity, actually. Yeah. So at the time we did our healing session, I was very far along, but I knew that there were bits of myself that were still fragmented, but I just was having a hard time hunting them down. So I thought maybe we can do this session and I'll get some data that I can then, apply in a way that's going to make my life more fulfilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And if we do like a fast forward a little bit, because I remember before we do the fast forward, I remember that you showed up with your equipment and you were like super.
Yeah.
I was not even prepared for being filmed that day. Like, I think you mentioned something, but I thought you were gonna use your phone, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. And you like showed up with like a full-on professional equipment and everything. You had like a full backpack and microphones and everything, and I was like, I was like, oh my God. And you were like so up for it, for filming everything. And then I was like, oh my God, she's so brave. I was like, and like, did you ever had any like idea of what could unfold? Because you seem very like just up for anything.
Yeah, well, I wanted to film this session because I felt like I was going on like this very epic life journey. Like really, I've done a lot of things, but I hadn't been documenting any of it. And so I thought like, wow, this would be really cool to share, but I'm only going to be able to share it if I capture it. So
Right.
I went through the process of capturing it, but then I've actually yet to share it.
Right.
Because I had many fears around being witnessed. So even like going back and looking at it myself, I haven't done in a full go. I've listened to the audio, but I've actually not looked at the video. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, I imagine it's like very profound and also very raw to just disclose such deep parts of,
Well, it's interesting you say that because that's been sort of the whole journey I've gone on since the session, has been getting to know myself deeper and deeper and deeper, and also accepting all parts of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a process. Like you speak about integration, and it's not like, I mean, sure, there's a lot of things that come through and that happen in the session, which we'll dive in some of them.
Yeah.
But then after that, there is definitely some time. It's almost like the body needs to digest it, like energetically, like process.
Yeah. Well, it's really fascinating you say that because it's first we get the concept.
Yeah.
But then it's not yet fully embodied, and the process of integration is to embody that thing which you've then learned.
Yeah.
And then the final step in learning, once you've embodied it, is teaching. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so just to give some concept of idea of what is a quantum healing hypnosis session, like we diving into your life map first. So it's not like you arrive and then you're like boom in hypnosis. Like we did your life map and we explore like different aspects. Actually, it was more like having like your life story up to this point being shared and unfolding. Like, did that brought any like insights, or how was for you to have your life map first before going to hypnosis?
I found it to just be relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
It just,
Yeah.
it was a process that made me feel like safe and oriented. And I mean, I felt safe to start, especially because you have such a lovely, peaceful vibe. So, and I'm not afraid of myself either. So there was no like boogeyman that was gonna pop out. Yeah, and
Right.
get me in my own memory. Yeah,
For sure.
from my past lives. But
For sure.
but just in general, it was nice to see like, okay, yeah, we're gonna plug in here. Great.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was reassuring in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
You accessed the life. Were you connected once we actually enter into the field, and you connected to a life where you were basically in direct access to what I could describe as sacred knowledge?
I'm in it still. I've never left, actually. Just switching out avatars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you be comfortable sharing a little bit of how was that life, like what came up and what you learned through it?
Well, I think what I found most interesting about that life is that it gave me a sort of reassurance about what I'm doing now,
Mm-hmm.
which is very unconventional.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was a big deal for me because I was a very conventional kid.
Right.
Yeah, like I did the sports, I
Yeah.
did well in school,
Yeah.
I studied physics, so back to super materialist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I went into finance, and so I was doing like sort of all of the things that seemed normal and proper in my then world.
Mm-hmm.
And now what I'm doing is just a complete departure from that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you were a female in that life as well.
Yeah, this is another interesting thing. Actually, we found out that I've only ever incarnated as female.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember that detail and being really shocked by that, actually,
Uh-huh.
because I feel like I have quite a little masculine edge to me.
Right. And yet your lives, or at least that one was
Yeah, I remember we asked, and
Yeah.
we said I've only ever incarnated
as female. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And do you remember how you look like?
In the vision,
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually.
No.
I don't think whatever it was, I wasn't looking in mirrors there.
No.
Yeah. Mostly I remember it was in a cave with a bunch of crystals.
Right.
And some other tools and books.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It
When I
was.
say books, I mean actually like scrolls. They were not.
They were old,
books.
right? They were like
Yeah.
ancient. Like it felt to me like you were in a completely like ancient
Yeah.
time, where there was this sacred, that the knowledge was kept really, really sacred, and only a few could go to this place and learn and connect. And if I remember correctly, you said it was mainly women who
It
were.
was only that particular.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna call it like it's like a kind of like a laboratory,
Uh-huh.
but also like a library.
Yeah.
Was for women only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And as I'm thinking about it now, in a way, it was kind of like a womb because it was this dark, cavernous space.
Yeah. Was it like underground?
Yes.
Did you have to go downstairs, or just remember you just had the feeling of like it was underground?
Yeah, I don't know if there were actual like stairs built into it, but it was definitely like a descending. It was sort of like the entrance looked like maybe just like a little bit like a hill or something, like a part of a natural landscape, and the entrance was tucked into there, but just descended.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could reference us to like a time like let's say like Roman or Egyptian, or like what kind of like time in history would you or
I would even say it was pre-Mayan, pre-Aztec.
Mayan?
No, pre.
Pre-Mayan.
Yeah.
So previous to. Mhm. Did you feel like you was here in Yucatan?
Oh,
And
100%.
yeah.
That life is in the Yucatan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm starting to feel goosebumps.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And do you then find there is a correlation completely of that life and then your present, like it
Yeah, I mean, they're related. Basically, I left myself a lot of data. Yeah. So my biggest database in the world is here in the Yucatan Peninsula.
Yeah.
My second biggest is in the Amazon jungle.
Uh-huh.
This is why I'm going back and forth between the two. It's sort of
Right.
like going to a library and
Yeah.
reading all the books there. And then, but you don't live in the library, right? So you go there to remember a few things or learn a few things.
For sure.
And then you go and apply what you learn. And
Yeah.
so then that happens for me when I'm engaging with people.
Yeah.
But then, going out beyond those two places and actually applying it, for example, in New York City where my family lives, or in Florida where my grandma is, or when I'm traveling abroad in Europe or across the US or wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I remember there was a sort of like when you're saying is the places where there is data that most of it happens like going inwards, like in meditation, right? Like it's like there are spaces where you can like fully just sort of like dive in. I would kind of like envision from.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And I remember asking you like, how is it that this exchange of intelligence happens? Like, how is it like, how in be because I don't know, just to put a context, like right now we have a computer and we can plug a hard drive and choose information, but in that sense, in that time and even on this time, like it does it just happen naturally with your being like
Yes, there are many layers to this question.
Yeah.
So the first is you can think of consciousness as a dandelion, and each one of us is a spoke. Right? If you direct the energy outwards, you'll get to the end of the spoke, right? But it's singular, it's just on its own. Whereas if the energy is directed inward, it would be like this process of meditation. It moves in towards the mass of the whole dandelion. So it gets more and more close and gets more access to the whole.
Yeah.
Does that compute?
Yeah.
Great.
For me, it does. I hope it does.
It'll land for whoever it needs to land
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
that's part one to the answer of your question. The second is you don't really need to seek anything. What you do is you ask a question, which is similar to setting an intention.
Yeah.
And that's like planting a seed. And the seed will blossom in its own time. So when it's ready to be received, or if it's even useful to be received, is when that data will come.
It happens, yeah. Yeah.
But you're whole as you are, so
Yeah,
do with that information what you will.
Yeah, absolutely. Once you completed that life, then you were in connection with your higher self or higher consciousness. How was that experience for you?
What I found to be most useful about that experience was that my higher self said that I'm already max integrated for what a human can, like how much of the energy, like a human body can actually like channel or sustain.
Right.
It said I was at max. So I was like, great. Then there's no separation between myself or my higher self. It's 100% here.
Yeah.
To the extent that it can be.
Yeah.
The reason I still add that caveat is, I mean, that higher self, right? That's infinite energy. It's just, it's not going to be fully contained in a body, but like there are things you can do to open up your being to maximize how much of it can come through.
Absolutely.
Without frying the hardware.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I'm there.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is
ongoing maintenance, by the way. It's not like you do it and then like
and it's done.
It's done forever.
No.
Like, it's an active thing.
Yeah. Yeah, which actually, I'm really glad that you said it, because what happens a lot in the process of the quantum healing hypnosis is that we create that space where the energy very safely, gradually can amplify to the level of each human being ability or willingness or openingness to do that. And I remember your higher self was like just very, very present, sharp, and he brought a lot of answers, like actually answered all of your questions and brought a lot of information to you, which I would like to dive into some of that and ask you some questions about that. You came to teach love, belief, and respect. And I wanted to ask you after that if how that has been either embodied or how that has come into a play in your life.
Yeah, this is an excellent question. Thank you for asking it. So, how the love has been coming through has been through acceptance and forgiveness. Yeah. And I understand us all to be purely light and unconditional love. And every grievance that we hold blocks out that light. It's kind of like a cloud in front of the sun.
Right.
So the more that you can release those grievances and find the perfection in everything,
Yeah.
the more you shine. So
Yeah.
that's simultaneously the love and respect part. Because they're the same thing.
Yeah.
Then the belief that I touched on a little bit earlier, which was, I really was like, okay, all creation happens in the void, which is darkness, right? And that includes infinite potential, including the potential for creation, but also the potential for destruction.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? The void has never let me down. So I am willing to just jump in with both feet, because there's no way to dip your toe in anyway.
I love it.
So there's less kicking and screaming and like timidly putting one foot in front of the other, and I really meant it. Like, I'm sprinting into the void. The void is my friend. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very rare. A lot of people would like, well, perhaps in the conception idea of the void, like that it's a place of like darkness, but 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 not in the sense of like darkness as bad or mean, like
no, it's just pure potential. Yeah.
And for what I have perceived and experienced as well, it's like just pure beingness, like pure peace, like infinite, like and it's nothing to be. Yeah, it's not dark on that sense. I just want to say it for the sake of clarifying that it's just like a pure space, actually. Yeah. And I wanted to ask you if there was anything in particularly that like stood more to you, or that just resonated more into your being from that conversation with or that download more than anything, that connection
The
with
love and respect and belief that I'm here to teach.
or in general, because there was a lot of information that was brought to you. So out of all of it, was there anything that you remember particularly?
Actually, the love, respect, and belief, and teaching that or sharing that, that was a big download for me.
Yeah.
Because I had the sense that I was here to teach, but I felt like I didn't have anything valuable to teach.
Wow.
And those things are intangible in a sense. And so they're very hard to grasp and to demonstrate and the permutations of them are infinite, right? So even as you're teaching it, all you can do is provide examples along the way. But I just got the confirmation that that is my mountain to climb. And it may seem small in some ways, like in the ways that I manifest those teachings. But it's also everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. And there was also this encouragement, like your higher self was very encouraging you to like just be open and like
Yeah.
go on
It was
and
like-
just share it. It was just like,
It was like-
go on, girl, just share it with the world.
Totally. It was like Nike. It was like, just do it.
Like
And
just
just do it anyway.
and just do it, and you're gonna
Yeah.
find out you're gonna love it, and so just go for it.
Yeah, I'm starting to experience that now a bit. Because I mean, just random people like come up to me on the street and they're like, I feel like I want to have a conversation with you. I'm like, okay. So, and this is the universe's way of sending me these little messengers of like, hey, there's an audience for this. This is useful for people.
Yeah.
What you have to share is important, and it's like really timely, is like needed right now.
Yeah.
So each one, normally I'm very like, I'm very choosy with my time, but it's
Right.
really clear to me when somebody is coming to deliver a message.
Mhm.
And the interesting thing about it is that these people, when they come to me and they're looking for some teaching, they're also my teacher, because every dynamic is one in which both parties are simultaneously student and teacher.
Absolutely.
So I may be sharing some esoteric stuff that they can actually like apply then in their life.
Yeah.
And they are sharing with me that what I have to share is valuable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so this is like our mutual learning process.
Yeah, absolutely. And even this, right? Because I
100%,
I just started doing the interviews recently. It's not something that, like it's been ongoing for years and I have a channel or anything like that. Like it's just very like new to start like reconnecting and be like, hey, what has unfolded, what has happened, and sharing some of this energy and some of these experiences.
Totally.
Because I also see that there is a lot of value on what every human being experiences by just tapping into their source field of love and light and energy, because everyone has something to bring forth, like everyone has something to contribute, but especially the ones that are being more brave to say, I'm gonna go all in.
Yeah. Well, they're just like they're just front runners. Basically.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Everyone is essential, and
Yeah.
everyone has a part to play.
Yeah.
The people who are willing to start sharing first,
Mm-hmm.
they're acting as a way of like almost like a permission slip for everybody else to say,
Yeah,
like, you can do this too.
Yeah, like opening the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
In case anybody was waiting for permission, you have it.
Yeah, it's here.
See.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because we were speaking about integration, and I wanted to, it's something that it's like here, like ask her. I'm like, okay, what are some of your own personal practices or things that you did to help you integrate after session that you just felt like, okay, I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that? Like, what was your own sort of guidance to integrate session?
Yeah, okay. So whenever I do anything which raises my awareness, I then have a somatic practice, which I call energy in alignment, which helps to connect my nervous system to that change that I would like to make, so that it lives in my body as my norm.
Yeah.
And then I will go take an action that directly correlates to that. So an example might be if I discovered that I settle, right? I might change that programming to I'm highly selective and I only choose what I like, as opposed to like settling for something I don't really like, right?
For sure.
And so then that becomes part of my architecture, or one of the filters that is applied to how I render reality.
Yeah.
And then to go put that into action, I might go to like, dinner or something and get something that I really like. Or if I go and there's nothing on the menu that I really like, instead of just sitting there because it's convenient or it's what it's available or whatever, I might then go to the next place or the next place until I find like exactly what it is that I would like.
Ah, nice.
So that's an application of this, and it has larger implications beyond just getting food. It even applies relationally in terms of what I would tolerate, in terms of acting between different people, or where I would live, or what kind of work I would engage in, or all of these things.
So if I'm understanding this the right way, to put it in different words, you would pay more attention to what your body's telling you, to that what it prefers or what it wants, in an array of different options for your life, and then you just are more ready to honor that, and that helps you to like ground your energy and be more in alignment, which makes complete sense.
Yeah. The thing is your body it exists only for communication and reproduction.
Right.
But it's communicating with you for what parts of you are hidden to your consciousness, like your conscious mind. And it's communicating to others as well.
For sure.
And so when you feel like a tightening, or like you're bracing yourself, or there's like a pain, and you proceed anyway, that's you ignoring that message it's trying to share.
Absolutely.
Right? What you could do when you notice that tightening is get curious about that and see what it's attempting to communicate.
Yeah.
And then use the data that it's relaying to then choose, right? Are you tightening because actually you would really like that thing and you feel unworthy of it? So then, okay, you move forward towards it because you're going, you're entraining your system to expand, to accept and receive that thing.
Yeah.
Or is it tightening because actually like this interaction is unsafe? And you're settling for something which is unsafe. And so you're like, okay, well, let me go towards something which is.
Yeah.
You know?
Or something that it's not nourishing or not.
Right. Yeah. So that's what the integration process looks like. I think it is a process of being curious, of getting to know yourself more intimately than you already do.
Yeah.
And then refining your choices accordingly.
That's one of the most beautiful explanations for integration that I've come across. Yeah, I love it.
Thank you.
Because normally there is this sort of like idea of like, oh, that that there's certain things to do, like as if it was a follow-up manual.
Like a checklist? No way.
And it may not, it may not be for everybody. And something that sometimes the higher self of other people have brought recommendations just to kind of help the person to be more like willing to explore, like being in nature, or like going in the water, or like being in connection to certain elements that are more nourishing for their beings. But in your particular case, I think it was something that was very left for you to explore. And also I remember you had some kind of homework, which was because I always ask for healing to bring as much as light energy into the body, the chakras, the emotional body, the mental body, anywhere where the body can actually be open or ready to receive healing. We are for it. It's one of the main themes of the session. And your higher self was like,
no. I remember it so clearly.
It's like she has this, like there were some points, like it was pointing out, like he give you a map, like exactly where the tightness or this energy imbalances, to call it something, where, and it could do it for you, but it said no, I'm not gonna do it for her, because she can actually learn a lot more by going on herself. And up to that point, that's all I knew. So now I really would like to ask you, like, then how did you manage to?
Well, there were many things. So the first is it's this process of being curious. And in order to really relay this concept, I'm going to need to provide some context.
Yeah.
So number one, we are one. the field is undivided. It's not unified because it was never separated.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one thing. Yeah. That's the first point. That side, we are experiencing one part within the field, one fractal.
Mm-hmm.
And the fractal that we're experiencing is rendered by all the filters that we place so that we can laser in on that point.
Uh-huh.
You can switch out the filters.
Mm-hmm.
They're like architecture. It's just like, you know, I'm going to take a pillar down here, I'm going to put up another one here.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I'm going to knock down this wall and I'm going to put in a kitchen instead.
Mm-hmm.
It's really like this.
Uh-huh.
I think construction is right now the best analogy I have for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
A filter could be the closer people get to me, the more unsafe I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so then that could produce a whole bunch of potentially pathological behaviors.
Right.
Pathological behaviors, like, you know, wanting intimacy, but then being avoidant.
Uh-huh.
Right? As an example.
Right.
And you'll notice when one of these filters is being activated,
Mm-hmm.
when your body tightens up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you can then go and get curious about, like, okay, what meaning am I making out of this situation about myself and about others and about life?
Uh-huh.
And that will give you a clue about the architecture.
Uh-huh.
And once you have that clue, you can then choose how you would like to refine it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a specific somatic practice that I do that helps to actually connect what you would like to what you embody.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then you go and live your life.
Is that somatic practice like breath work, or what is it?
No, this is my special.
Or is this your secret? Okay.
Yeah, it's not a secret. I want to be so clear about this.
Uh-huh.
It's not a secret. It's just very nuanced.
Okay.
And so it does require actually coming to learn it.
Right.
Or
Okay.
having oversight while you're doing it. But it's just you working on you.
So if anybody who wanted to learn this, how do they reach you?
I have a website and
Okay.
I have an Instagram.
Uh-huh.
It's my personal Instagram.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, my website is emmasoleil.co and
Okay.
my Instagram is emmasoleil.
Okay, I'll bring that in the video, because you know, like, maybe there is people who either have done sessions and they would greatly benefit from learning this, or they have done some other energy work or ceremonies, and they're like, okay, this girl got it, I want it.
Yeah. Well, so the same thing is, I find a lot of these sessions, like what you led, and then also sitting in ceremony, these are things which raise my awareness.
Mm-hmm.
But just because I become aware of something doesn't mean it gets automatically integrated. This somatic practice is, for me, step one in integrating.
Yeah.
And then step two is then I go take an action.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when the awareness enters, it just clicks immediately. So it doesn't need to go through the somatic tool that I have.
Yeah.
But sometimes it
doesn't. And so
I'm like, okay, well, let me catch this thing while I'm aware of it, because otherwise I'm going to continue to live life and forget about it. So it's just like, I feel like our whole being, our consciousness, is just this vast, never-ending library. And
absolutely.
When we're becoming aware of something, it's like we're going around that library with a flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
And we would come across it and we're like, oh, there's this book. Maybe I should pay attention to this, right? But then you're like, but you got to keep moving, right? So like you only have like that book in your vision, in that like flashlight, for just like a small window of time. Yeah,
absolutely.
So you want to get it so that way it's running as you would like on autopilot when you forget about it again.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's how I'm experiencing my life. I don't know about everybody else, but that's definitely what's going down over here.
And so back into the healing, did you figure it out? Like, did you, from that time up to now, did you figure out what and how to clear this or rebalance?
Yeah. So that was a whole process. So for me, it was iterative. It didn't happen like right away. It was peeling back a lot of the architecture. Like one having like an expectation of rejection, right? So then that was creating stagnant energy here and fear.
Yeah.
And it was just being curious and observing myself as I'm moving through life. And I did a couple of things which helped to really raise my awareness super quickly. One was I did a dark retreat for 180 hours, fasted,
Uh-huh.
and essentially silent.
Uh-huh.
And so then just being there with my own mind, a couple
Yeah.
things came up.
For
But
sure.
for the most part, I realized it's good to be me.
Uh-huh.
So I was having visions of like flowers and rainbows.
Yeah.
And, like saying nice things to myself psychically. I wasn't saying it out loud because it was basically silent, but I was like, wow, you know, it's nice up here.
Uh-huh.
Which was great because just
Lovely.
a few years earlier it wasn't.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then I did a boga,
Mm-hmm.
and I came to the same conclusion of I'm clean.
Yeah.
And then I went to the Amazon jungle and I dieted for several months.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so the thing with the iboga and the dark retreat is that was just basically me and one of the plants, right?
Yeah.
And it dealt with things that I knew I had to deal with, basically.
Like the plant, the consciousness of the plant, or?
Well, so the dark retreat was just me.
Yeah.
It wasn't on anything, yeah. So
yeah.
That just, yeah, whatever I had left kind of like lingering that I thought I would deal with later, it was like things that are in my memory of this lifetime.
Yeah.
Dealt with.
Right.
Then I went and I did the iboga, and it was confirmation that I cleaned out that cache.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Then I went into the Amazon jungle, and it really blew my mind while I was dieting because it took me into the world of what I didn't know I didn't know. Right. So we did like a whole all past life review of just me. Yeah. And that got into the realm of what I didn't know because it was so far long ago.
Right.
That I just didn't recall. And I say that in the sense that actually time is not linear. Everything is right here, right now.
Yeah.
But just that whatever that was so deep and so close to the base of my operating system,
right,
that it was like, you know, a fish is not the one who recognized water. Yeah, that I just was living with that feeling or that idea or that architecture, but because it was so, it just permeated all of my existence, I didn't even like think, I didn't even notice it.
Right.
And a big one, a big piece of that architecture that came up is I had this underlying idea that I'm nothing and I'm no one. And that was really impacting how I was living my life because I felt just like I was nothing and no one. Right. Like just so unimportant and irrelevant and useless and just a waste. Which I don't feel like anymore, and I feel like that really shows because I'm not so much of like a wallflower anymore or
yeah. Yeah, your vibe is more like
more open and free and like delightful because I am delighted.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I am delight, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm very curious because it's been a year since our session, and I'm, you know, with me all the time, right? So my changes are more incremental. I'm paying attention, so I am noticing some stuff. But I'm curious how I appear different to you now.
Well, I actually got to see like deep into your being because of the session, and I only see more of that embodied.
I feel that way too.
Really? So I don't see like any difference or lack, or I see more of you being you. And mind you, I didn't know you so much before the session either, but I did hear your life story, and I just have the idea, you know, of where you come from to that point, and then now I see you now, and then I see you more in that part of you that is shining. I do see that there is still more ahead for sure on that, like if you're a flower and you're opening, like you are unfolding your petals, but I see there is more petals that are like still just opening more. And I'm really, really happy to have some time to get to connect now, because indeed you are delightful. Like indeed I have like enjoyed so much of witnessing and co-creating and sharing and connecting and seeing you and you seeing me as well. So more beyond like, the one that did your session type of thing, and more like the person who I am as well. So that's really nice because
Yeah.
I also like to like um, be seen, and that's very nice. That's very nurturing as well.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you. And I think there is the since you already started asking the questions, we can go with the flow. Like I don't know if there is space for you to ask any questions that you may want to ask about myself or my life or my journey or anything that you're curious about.
Yeah, I am very curious first about how you came to be where you are now, and specifically what led you to this form of hypnosis.
Yeah.
And then how it has changed your life.
Yeah, very good questions. So there is this part of my evolution and part of my life going back in time. Before I arrived here, even to Mexico, I was in Canada, and I was also working with plant medicine at the time. I was only doing those ceremonies as I was feeling my intuition guiding me to go there, and I was learning and exploring what was happening when I was listening to my intuition and going there. And series of events unfolded of what I feel were sort of spiritual initiations that happened during the ceremony with the plants, unintended, not planned, nothing like a shaman will come and teach me anything at all. It was just pure interaction with the medicine and things that were unlocking and opening, and abilities that started to just being online, and things that were just happening like in that field of energy where everything's more expansive. And at some point I was starting just to connect with guidance, so I knew that everything that was about to happen in my life would be like that. Like there is no more just I mean, yeah, sure, I do what I prefer and all of that, but I always have to be mindful of, is this aligning to my path, my journey, to where I need to go, to my mission, or not? And then I always have to weigh that and bring it into balance. So at that time, I received the guidance to start working with human beings. And I was so tapped in that I was not really looking forward to do that at all, because it was so intense for me, let's say, to go downtown and then I would see like people's shadows. That's the truth. Like I would see their shadows or things that they were carrying, or if they were sad, or if they were whatever it is, like I could tap into it, and I thought, wow, it's intense. Like I could see a lot of people just not doing too well, in general. So it was pretty kind of shocking. So I was always very more like reserved. So when that came in, I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So fast track moving forward, it was not just like from there to here. It was a process of years of preparation. And even when I look back of working with the plants, I do feel like all of those are like stages of preparation. So it didn't happen overnight. It's been a long, I could say, years, maybe 9, 10, of continuous refinement and exploration and working. So when I was receiving that guidance, it also came that I had to be here specifically in this land in Mexico. Didn't make sense to me at all, even though I'm Mexican, but I was not attached to this little town and I had no business here at all. So I was like, why? So when I came here and started teaching yoga and finding the connection with people, the next guidance came in and it was, okay, now you need to study this technique. So it's been like a progressive step, as you say, one foot in front of the other type of situation. And once I finished the formation, then things started to go a bit more like in a fast track, I would say. Like things started to make sense. pieces I would start to see come together and see like, okay. And so what I learned is like, no matter how much of that wisdom or consciousness comes through, like life is meant to be lived and explored and discovered. And that's just how it's meant to be for all of us, is to really step in and be brave and trust and move forward and make changes. And it's just all of this process that makes it like really rich, like your life becomes meaningful. Because sometimes you don't need to know what the next thing is, but you just need to know there is something there and go forward for it. So that has been kind of like a lot of my journey. Like, you just gotta move forward or we'll put you forward. So I'm like, no, I'll go.
Yeah. It's much easier if you go.
Much easier, yeah.
Yeah. The way to get pushed. It's really, it's not so pleasant.
No.
A couple times.
Yeah, right? Like you find like resistance, and then it's harder actually to move through it than when you just surrender and and trust the process, even though it sounds woo-woo or whatever.
Yeah, but it's true, actually.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And from there on, things just start moving forward, things start happening. I started to ask for confirmation and wonderful human beings. Like, I wanted to do this in a very meaningful way, so I would always ask the spirit and the guides to please then bring me the people in synchronicity that are going to be most grateful for this exchange, because in reality it is also an energy exchange, and that they would be people who are have souls that are meant to bring something positive into the planet, so that they're really ready and willing, and they feel it, like everyone feels it. And so people that they want to create something good or meaningful, even though if they don't know what it is, it doesn't matter, but it's just got to be in their heart space to feel that. And I see over and over and over again, all of this is like, okay, here it is. This is two energies that are meant to coexist. And every human being that I've met, I have learned so much from it, and I think as well. So, yeah.
So, I guess in a way you sort of touched on it, but I'm curious about how you were before you started this journey and how you're feeling now.
In a sense of feeling, or in a sense of who was Paulina before and who's Paulina now?
I mean, it could be both. But really, I'm interested in how the quality of your internal life has changed.
Oh, it has changed significantly. Like, I think I have shifted and lived almost like many lives in one life. Like, because those peeling layers, they go along with ideas, beliefs, thoughts about how things should be or have to be, and then just learning something different all the time. So and also age, right? Because time passes, and as a woman or as a person, one also changes. So it went from all of that encompasses of self-love and self-worth and self-value and trust, and really, really believing on what is my purpose as well, like what is my piece to that big puzzle, having it more clear and more clear and more clear every single time. So it has been from exploration and figuring it out. Being very young, I was really playful, like really playful. Like, I would just go for whatever I wanted with no limits. Reason why I moved from Mexico to Canada, and then, back here, I was into music. I would just do, like, if I wanted to do something, I would just do it. But then this was like different, because I wasn't searching for it. Like, I wasn't in my mind like, I want to be a spiritual healer, or I want to be this, like, it just not crossing my mind. So it was more like presented and guided, and energy just taking me here, and I'm like, okay, this is the journey then. This is the actual thing. So yeah, I feel more immersed and more in connection with this part of myself. Like I hear more the messages versus at the beginning where things were more like, I was unfolding with the process, and now I feel more like tapped in, turn on, like messages are like like all the time when I need them. So sometimes I'm like, can I just have a moment?
It's just like to chill.
Yeah, like, can I just need to go to the bathroom or things, and then they're like, nah, bringing information or things like that are relevant. It's never random, so it's always relevant. Yeah, more rooted. Like I feel those roots that you were talking about that are like really essential, and this is one of the reasons why I was also meant to be here, because I feel my ancestry is from this land. So being connected to this land brings me that groundingness to be like, okay, it's good. Everything's good. Yeah.
Great. Those are my questions.
Yeah, nice. Well, so I think we can wrap it up. I would like to just bring a closure with asking you, like, if there is something you could say to anyone who is maybe thinking about having a session or considering or wondering if this is something that they should do, like what, something that you would say.
Yeah, I waited a long time to do this because I was waiting for the right practitioner. It had been on my mind for probably about 4 or 5 years before we did it.
Wow.
Yeah, but when I came across you, I knew that you were the person to do it with. For me, at least. Yeah. And I think with all of these tools and spiritual spaces, it's really helpful to know your intention going into it, so that way it becomes more than just entertainment. It becomes actually something that's useful in your life experience that can enhance it afterwards. That onus is always going to be on you.
Totally.
That's my 2 cents there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very wise. I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Thank you for everything, Pauline.
Thank you. Yay.